Hey, so this is my smartwatch, and like all normal smartwatches, it will tell me my basic health metrics. For example, this watch will tell me how many calories I've lost in the day, my steps I've taken, my heart rate levels, and a bunch of more other simple things. And honestly, considering it's just a small device that I wear on my wrist, the idea of it being able to tell me these things is pretty cool in my opinion. But what if we took it to the next level? Yes, these metrics are important, but what if this device could also tell me things like if I have a disease and detect cancer early, help me monitor an illness I have, or even tell doctors how my body is responding to certain therapeutic treatments I'm getting? That's what the power of biosensors can give us, and that's what I'm going to be exploring in today's video, how biosensors can help us revolutionize and shape the future of healthcare. But wait, before I go into depth about biosensors, I need to start with the basics. Biomarkers. Biomarkers, think of them like your body's natural signals. Molecules such as DNA, proteins, enzymes, and many more chemicals. They tell us what's going on inside your body. For example, take cancer. Tumors, which are cancerous, will release certain proteins into your bloodstream. Another example is diabetes. When you have diabetes, your glucose levels will fluctuate depending on if your insulin is working or not. Both of these are examples of biomarkers, and biosensors will pick up on these biomarkers, allowing healthcare professionals to not only diagnose your health, but also help you monitor it in real time. Okay, so now that we know the basics, biomarkers, we can get into the real good stuff, biosensors. To break it down into simple terms, biosensors rely on three core aspects. 1. Recognition. They need to be able to pick up on a specific interaction between the analyte and the biorecognition element. 2. Transduction. Converting the biological interaction into a signal that's readable via a transducer. And 3. Processing. Interpreting these signals and amplifying it to make it readable and applicable data and information. Diagram here really breaks it down for us. In the circle on the left, we can see what our biomarkers would be, stuff like enzymes and DNA. Then right after, we see the recognition stage, the bioreceptor, the red part on the diagram, right after the biomarkers, picks up on the specific interactions between the analyte and the biorecognition element, and this would be our biosensor process. Right after, the blue part is our transductor, and this converts this bio-interaction into a signal that's readable via the transducer. And then through electronic components, we can amplify the signal and process it, giving us a final displayable result with real and applicable data. Now, right before I get into how biosensors are making waves in healthcare, I'm going to cover 4 key types of biosensors. So first up, we have enzyme-based biosensors. What are enzyme-based biosensors, you may ask? Well, they're biosensors that utilize enzymes to be their biological recognition element. Now, why enzymes? Because enzymes are highly specific and have catalytic abilities, making them really great for detecting super small molecules in the body. One of the most well-known applications of this is the glucose biosensor. Here's how it works. The enzyme glucose oxidase catalyzes with glucose, turning into gluconate. This produces hydrogen peroxide as a byproduct, and the biosensor can detect this by measuring different things such as changes in pH levels or conductivity. This biosensor is a lifesaver for people who have diabetes, allowing them to continuously monitor their glucose levels in real time. Next, we have antibody-based biosensors, and as the name suggests, these sensors use antibodies, the immune system's natural defenders, to detect different pathogens or biomarkers with high specifics. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, antibody-based biosensors were used in rapid diagnostic tests to detect the SARS-CoV-2 virus in patient samples. When the antibody binds to the specific antigen, the biosensors detects this interaction using methods such as surface plasmon resonance or electrochemical detection, giving us a signal. Moving on to DNA or RNA biosensors, used to detect genetic material, DNA or RNA sequences. These biosensors are a game changer in genetic diagnostics because they can identify different mutations in viruses, bacteria, and many more. Here's the science. A DNA or RNA probe will bind to its target sequence in a sample, and this interaction can create detectable signals. They can be engineered, for example, putting some fluorescence tagging onto it to get a fluorescent signal, or also its natural electrochemical changes, and many other methods as well. And these biosensors are often used to detect viral infections, such as HIV or Zika, and even cancerous mutations. And last but not least, we have cell-based biosensors. These are unique because they use living cells to detect biochemical changes in real time. Unlike other biosensors, which rely on molecules, cell-based biosensors can react to a much wider range of stimuli, such as changes in the environment and toxins. A really cool example is genetically modified T cells with the chimeric antigen receptor, CARS. This is used in cancer detection as well as to fight the disease. So these modified T cells will now bind to specific markers in cancer cells, and when they do so, they can be genetically modified to release a detectable signal, such as luminescence or fluorescence, making them very easy to detect and monitor drug responses, and therefore making them a very important tool in precision medicine. Okay, so now that we have a really strong understanding on both biomarkers and biosensors, we can jump in how they're shaping the healthcare field. In terms of the healthcare field, biosensors are critical for two key reasons. One, monitoring your illness, and number two, detecting said illness early. In terms of monitoring illness, people with chronic illnesses can really benefit from biosensors. For example, like I mentioned, diabetes, how biosensors can be used to track your glucose levels, making it a lot easier for diabetic patients. And number two, early disease detection. If a biosensor can detect signs of cancer early, they can help you get the healthcare you need and let you know that you have an illness that needs to be checked out to improve your survival rates. Either way, biosensors are making sure that taking care of your health is a lot easier. Okay, so firstly, the aspect of disease management with biosensors. This is often seen with people with chronic or progressive illnesses, as it's very important for them to continuously monitor their progress. However, this can be really exhausting for some patients, and that's where biosensors come in, to make that process a lot more easier and seamless. One example is diabetes, and I mentioned this previously, how the glucose oxidase enzyme and glucose react, and a biosensor picks up on this reaction, giving us a signal which can be used to read the glucose levels. This can be super helpful for diabetic patients, as they can use it to monitor their glucose in real time and adjust their insulin accordingly. Plus, we get rid of all those unnecessary finger pricks, which in my mind is a pretty big win. Another example is with neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's. When you have Alzheimer's, there's specific biomarkers like tau proteins or beta amyloid proteins found in your CS fluid as well as your bloodstream. Biomarkers like this are picked up on by biosensors, and such biosensors can help your healthcare professionals and doctors track your progression and adjust your treatment as well, so you get the best treatment possible. Now, for the second aspect of biosensors in healthcare, early disease detection. Early detection saves lives, and biosensors are a game changer here. They can detect illnesses like cancer or heart conditions long before your symptoms even appear. Here's how it works. Specific biomarkers related to specific conditions are often released into your bloodstream before the illness even gets visible. For example, cancer. When you have breast cancer, there's a specific protein, ATR2, which is produced a lot more aggressively, and then this would saturate in your bloodstream, allowing specific biomarkers to pick up on that and letting you know that something is wrong, you need to go to a hospital, and getting the disease checked out as soon as possible. Additionally, there's also heart attacks. When you have a heart attack, there's a specific protein called a cardiac troponin, which is put into your bloodstream within hours of symptoms, allowing you to detect this early as well and go see a healthcare professional. And so, as we've seen, biosensors are not just tools. They're shaping the future of healthcare, from helping with early disease detection to monitoring your chronic conditions, and even helping doctors tailor your treatments. These devices are revolutionizing how we approach medicine. The future of medicine is no longer just reactive, but also preventive as well. One thing such as your smartwatch can tell you that you have a disease before your symptoms even occur. but we're only just scratching the surface. The future of biosensors relies in overcoming obstacles and barriers like cost, accessibility, and making it global. However, with current research and the way things are going, this is what our future will look like. If you found this interesting and you want a more detailed version, I'll leave a link to my article down in the description below, where I wrote a review paper after reading several different research papers on this topic. Thank you so much for watching.